Joe Gallacher. How you doing, man?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Good, yeah. Thanks very much for coming on the show.
No bother.
It's really good to see you.
Nice to see you. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a whole while. You've been pretty busy recently, man.
It's been good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Want to talk a wee bit about some of the stuff you've been doing, like playing with Johnny Mac and the Faithful.
Johnny Mac and the Faithful.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a real fun thing to be involved in.
Yeah.
It was a strange one how it came around. It was all sort of based around Celtic, really, the football
Right.
team.
I was going to ask that, man, because I knew you'd performed on the grounds, eh?
Yeah, I done the double treble thing.
Right.
So when they came back to Celtic Park with the bus and all that and the trophies, and they all walked up to the stage,
Right.
and there was the stage with the trophies, and then this weirdo singing.
Right.
That was me.
Right. Cool.
So I was looking out at the madness, which
Uh-huh.
was great. And then I done the Scott Brown testimonial the next day. So I mean, I'm a Celtic fan, unapologetically. So like, you know, people say you should never tell who you support. It's like, well, somebody doesn't want to be into your music because you support a football team, then
What's the point?
well, you know, that's no great loss to me, you know. So that was great, and then, you know, through that, all that stuff, I started doing more work with Celtic, and then eventually this Johnny Mac and the Faithful gig came up.
He'd done something similar, is that right? He'd released a track.
So John was a bit of a, I don't know how to describe it. When I used to see John in the telly, because he's written songs for like Westlife and
Yeah.
Busted, and he's done stuff with the Pogues, he's done stuff with Echo and the Bunnymen. I mean, the list goes on and on. He's worked with Holland Dozier and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I used to see him on the telly and I used to think, no way, man, he's at it. You know, this wee guy's so happy. But that's genuinely how he is.
Right.
So when I met him, it was more of a meeting to see if we would get on with the Johnny Mac thing. And we got on great. And I quickly realised that that's exactly how he was, you know. And it became then quite easy to get involved in the group.
So had he approached you to?
Well, the bass player who is a good friend of mine through Celtic, he works there.
Right.
He had said to John when they were looking for a guitar player, you know, you should phone this guy.
Yeah.
And he did. He phoned me, and we sort of had a bit of a chat, and it was like, right, well, we're going on tour with Rod Stewart for 5 weeks. Do you want to come? I was like, well, of course I do. Yes. So that was it. I mean, it was pretty much first night of the tour was in Manchester Arena,
Okay.
20,000.
Yeah, man. That's
So it was a bit crazy. But about John, the thing about John is he's infectious. So I mean, I was turning up to rehearsals, and people who I work with now, I mean, I'm quite famous. I'm like, do we need to rehearse? You know, I don't really like doing it. But there's something, I don't know what it was. I just changed. I was having fun playing.
Yeah.
I was enjoying it again. Because just before the Johnny Mac thing, I had sold I had a great collection of guitars, and I'd sold loads of them. I was like, I'm never going to be doing anything again, really.
Yeah.
Just sell all my guitars. It was a sort of vanity project. I realised, which I'll tell you about later, it was something that happened that made me realise that all these guitars sitting here was a bit of a vanity thing.
Yeah.
So I sold them all, and then about a week later I got the phone call, will you come and play? And I was like, oh, Christ,
crazy,
sold all my guitars.
Yeah.
So that's been a real, it came at just the right time for me. As you can probably tell, we selling all my stuff and all that. I was sort of at a place where I was like, I'm just going to stop, really.
Right.
And then sometimes when you do that, the greatest things come. So John's been a real positive impact
Yeah.
on my musical career, I suppose. Because this is because you know, I've done stuff in the past and all that, but this is sort of the starting point now.
Do you, like, we come from like the similar world of doing like the kind of cover scene and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
There's been times in like my kind of career in music where I've felt like I've almost like stupidly, I feel like, separated that as if it's not part of my musical career. But the more things that have actually happened as a result of doing those things, it's like becoming just this intertwined thing. Do you feel like that's also been instrumental in helping. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't.
I know what you mean. Some guys that do it sort of box it off. They go, well, this
Mhm.
is this is my real thing. You
Yeah.
know, my songs, and then they box off they're sort of ashamed
Yeah.
of it. I've never really been like that. I was always quite proud of it. Because you learn your craft, you learn your chops in these places. You know, you turn up, there's invariably a really drunk woman. You know, you read the room. Soon, I mean, I don't know about you, but now I can go into a place and I read the room instantly.
Oh, totally.
I know what I'm going to play.
Yeah.
I know what I'm going to say. I know how I'm going to approach it. And that's all come for years of doing these gigs.
Yeah.
And plus, you get paid. You know, the money's good.
Totally. Yeah.
You know, it's always baffled me. I mean, don't get me wrong. When I was younger, like in my late teens, early 20s, it was like that was a no.
Yeah.
But as life happens, you know.
You're also like when I'm out of the wedding band, like you can't not get better when you're playing Stevie Wonder every night.
Totally.
Like you're it's sort of becoming you're developing a part of yourself that naturally like sways towards, like when you start writing your own music, it sways towards those people. Do you know what I mean? You're like, I don't know, I'm havering a wee bit here, but like they become part of your sort of like creative.
Makeup. Yeah. Well, you take from it, don't you?
Yeah.
And you learn licks, and you go, I'll use that, I'll steal that.
Even like people that you wouldn't necessarily listen to. Like I'm sure there's like the Justin Timberlake stuff that we do. Like I'm sure there's elements of that makes its way in. Do you know what I mean?
Well, it'll bleed in.
Yeah.
And it becomes part of your musical makeup.
Yeah.
You know, I do weddings as well. It's again, it's an education. You know. And it gets you playing up, it gets you singing up. I mean, I could sing 7 nights a week.
Yeah.
And I would sing the same. I get tired and all that, obviously. But it wouldn't be like it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Where if I'd sang 2 nights in a row, it would be the end of the world because I couldn't get to where I need to be in the third night. And there's things that help with that. Obviously, in-ear monitoring's a big thing. And learning how your body works and all that in terms of singing, you know.
Yeah. Is that something that you've done? Because the last person I spoke to was a vocal coach, and they were talking about how like they you maybe even know them, Sam Scott Thorne, sings for Brother Man.
I know the band. I don't know the guy.
He was like us, like got into function bands and just writing his own stuff, and then eventually decided that he wanted to actually learn like what was going on when he was singing. That's something that I've never done, but felt like I've naturally got to a place that do you know what I mean? Like I similar to yourself, I feel like I take care of my voice just
instinctively.
Yeah.
It's not something I've looked into. As I've got older, I've got better at it. But you learn, don't you? I mean, you learn where to go when you want to go to a certain place. You learn how you're even the way your body moves when you're singing. But I believe that's all. I've learnt all that through the years and years of doing these covers gigs.
Yeah,
definitely. You know, and when I started doing covers gigs, you could smoke in bars.
Right.
So I was singing in bars when I was 14, 15, singing in these bars and people were smoking.
Where some of the rasp comes from.
Well, probably.
Yeah.
But I mean, it toughened me up quickly. It was like, you know, and there was loads of guys doing it then. And it was kill or be killed, you know.
Yeah.
So you just had to keep going. Just keep going, man. Keep working.
You're great at it as well.
Thank
I've
you.
seen you do loads of different things, like musically, but like one of the memories I have is like turning up. It was like the Fort. And I was playing right after you. We were basically busking at the Fort.
Outside, what do you call it? Festival gig at the Fort. That's like a clothes shop. It's brilliant.
But you managed to you were just captivating, even just between songs, like talking to people that were just passing. And that's probably one of the things I'm most shit at is the actual interaction with the crowd and stuff. But you, like, aside from the fact that your voice is fucking incredible, you managed to draw people in and
thanks, man.
Just seem really at ease with it.
Yeah, I suppose it's just years of doing it. And if I don't get me, some days are better than others. You know, if I don't really have anything to say, then I'll just keep going. You know, But those kind of gigs, those are the kind of gigs that, you know, if you see like kids and all that, just talking to people on the same level, you know. Loads of guys go into these things and they're like, you know, I'm the singer and all that. It's the guy that happens to be able to sing that's, you know, that's there. And I think having kids as well, as you'll know, sort of brings everything down to
Totally,
a whole other thing, you know. Suddenly egos are no longer accepted. You know what I mean? It's like, well, you know, you've wiped an arse or two, you know. You've
aye.
It's
Had
you know,
shit in a couple of fingers. And
exactly. You know what I mean? You know, you've not lived until some kids spat on you, you know.
Mhm.
But that all helped melt away the ego and all that. So yeah, but
in terms of kids, then, do you like the way I feel with it is that before I would have just chased any sort of like idea that I had. So if I had, I say this while I'm trying to fucking build a podcast, right? But like if I wanted to record an album with a fucking 6-piece band, do you know what I mean? Like while I had a job, I would have left the job and fucking done that. Do you know what I mean? Like just anything, not just necessarily that, but maybe like setting up like a film company or something. I just wanted. I was always like trying to chase all these different things that I would just come up with. But having kids has made me focus on the things that I think are genuinely going to lead to something. Do you know what I mean? Is that? Do you think like that? Or
I mean, I'm quite lazy, really. It was always just about making music for me. I'm really good at, if I set my mind to something, I'll generally do it, you know. But the whole thing for me was how everything changed. So like writing songs became like, you know, instead of sitting with a guitar for a few hours, it was like the phone, recording ideas, putting them together. I mean, I would now write songs in my head from things that I've sort of written down, and it will just be all the time going round in my head until I get it down. Whereas before it was like I could work on it for whatever period of time I wanted.
Do you feel like that is like an autistic thing? Sometimes I feel like that. So like sometimes I could be like, just like I feel like my whole day is built around being percussive and humming songs and fucking really
tapping on the desk and all that.
I don't know what it is, man. Like that thing that just constantly ticks around your head, song like melodies and ideas. Like my girlfriend fucking hates me for it. But
I totally understand.
Maybe I've just got autism.
Well, I don't know if it's maybe like an addiction.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I couldn't say. I've never really thought about it, to be honest. You know, but I know what you mean. I see it more in other people than I do in myself. I mean, I've got it, but it's not constant, you know.
You've definitely got autism. I see it in
self-diagnosed
you.
here. But I do see it, and I see it in people that I've worked with and stuff, and I'm like, man, you need to really relax about that, because I think a big thing that I'm an advocate of is it doesn't have to be like perfect. The chase for perfection is ultimately going to end in absolute failure, because it can't be. Even the greatest records in the world aren't perfect. You know, you listen to some of those Beatles tracks and they're singing the wrong words in the backing vocals, but the take was good. You know, the guitar's slightly out of tune and stuff, but the take was, you know, it's about a balance, and it's about thinking to yourself, well, am I going to really get that any better than it already is? Does it? And the big thing for me is does it have a feeling? You know, does it feel right? Yes. Is it quite right in terms of the picture? Maybe not, but it feels right. Yeah. And you know, I think
that's what's so hard about being able to record whenever you want now, because it's so easy to just stack vocal takes and just comp them down into one take and stuff.
I know, but then there's a magic in just singing the thing once, and going, that's it. You know, that's
Smashed
the one. Well, I don't think I've ever said that, but like, you know, just getting it done the way they used to do, even though you can do it the other way. Yeah. Let's do it that way because that's the way they used to do it. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, everybody's different.
You said something cool in the Toy Tin Soldier documentary where you were talking about like how everything good and bad that's ever happened to you has happened to you through music.
Mhm.
Like, something I'd never really thought about before, but like I've been singing and playing guitar like so long now, like longer than I hadn't,
Mhm.
that like it's turned out that way, that just my whole life has been structured around music, like people I've known and lost. I just thought it was a really cool fucking thing
It
that
is
you'd
true,
said,
though.
man.
I mean, it is true. Everything, you know,
Mhm.
all the great things and all the shit things.
Mhm.
And I think I might have said something like from the biggest thing to the tiniest insignificant thing. And
Yeah.
it's kind of true, you know, because it becomes who you are as well. You know, when I think of you, the first thing I think of is like a singer
Yeah.
and a guitar player.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's what people think. Well, maybe the second or third thing they think of me for you know, but whatever. But
What
you
you
know,
thinking, handsome?
handsome, horrible. No, but that's the first thing you think of. You know, when I think of, I don't know, when you think of football, Celtic, you know, Rangers, Scotland. You know, that's what you are, what you do, sort of
Yeah.
thing. You know, in the eyes of other people, and that's it's. I suppose it's a good thing.
Mhm.
I mean, I'd rather somebody, when they thought of me, thought, "Oh, Joe sings and plays the guitar," than than anything else, really.
No, he's an
But it's who
arsehole or
it's who
something.
you are to me
Yeah.
as well,
Yeah.
and it's probably who I am to you, in the first thought. Do you know
It's
what I mean?
weird, because we've probably, probably like felt like I know you more through hearing you singing than maybe the conversations we've had together.
I think I've probably heard you sing more than I've spoke to you,
Aye,
probably.
same, man.
But I know you.
Yeah,
I feel like I really know you
yeah, totally.
because you're around and we're in each other's worlds.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? And I kind of know what you're about by
Yeah.
hearing you sing, and you probably kind of know what I'm about by hearing me sing.
what kind of musical world do you come from then? Like, I grew up in the sort of like cat house environment. Do you know what I mean? Like the
Mhm.
kind of naughties thing. Like I was a mosher basically.
Right.
What's yours? Sort of?
I grew up. My mum would listen to loads of Patsy Cline, loads of Connie Francis, and Rod Stewart constantly,
Mhm.
which was
Wow.
nuts because we
That's
went on
crazy,
tour
man.
with them recently, which was mad.
Mhm.
And then I sort of found my own thing. I was into the Britpop Oasis. Oasis were my favourite group, you know,
Yeah.
still are. One of them. So that was the whole thing I grew up on.
Mhm.
But then, I don't know how you did it. I sort of discovered what I was into, and then I looked back at what those bands were at. So the Beatles then became like messiahs to me, and the Stones. And then as I got older, I started to realise that Patsy Cline was pretty amazing,
Yeah.
as was Connie Francis, as is Rod Stewart, as is, everything else that was. My dad's not so into music, but everything my mum would listen to, I was thinking, that's actually really good.
Yeah.
And you would slag it as a kid and all that, because that's what you done, the
Yeah.
rebellion thing. But for me, it was like parka jackets, sunglasses.
And a lot of the sort of older, well, even now, just the pop records, you end up finding out that the guys that were your heroes wrote a lot of the pop records at that time as well.
And as well as that, I don't know, well, you might be different to me, but you hear pop records now and you can immediately appreciate it, whereas when you were younger, you'd be like, fucking
Yeah.
rubbish, get that off type thing. But when you look back, things like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a pop record that's pretty amazing. But even things like now, like Gaga and all that, you
Yeah.
know, all those records, Mark Ronson, pop
Mhm.
records, but they're amazing records.
Yeah.
You know, whereas when you were younger, it'd be like the devil.
Do you think that's got to do with like the recording process as well?
I think it's to do with an appreciation of what
Mhm.
you know what it takes to create something like that,
Yeah. I suppose, yeah.
and you're able to go, wow,
Mhm.
how would I went about that? You know, it's an appreciation.
I think there's like a natural thing in that with like that some people can just sing and they can't fucking songwrite.
Mhm.
Like there is like a negative thing around that. Oh, like that's just a manufactured singer. It's not necessarily the case. Maybe just somebody that grew up just happened to learn how to sing from listening to singers that they liked, and then there's guys that like us like that write songs and stuff that.
That's it. I mean, some people are just born to sing.
Mhm.
Elvis never wrote a song in his life. He's the king of rock and roll.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? A great singer. I mean, you look at guys like and then you look at guys like Bob Dylan, who probably isn't everybody's favourite singer, but wrote some of your favourite songs.
Yeah.
So, you know, it depends what's within you. Some guys are just great guitar players. Some guys are great drummers, but they're just drummers. Some people are just singers. Some people are songwriters. Some people are singers and songwriters. You know, it doesn't make what you do any less valid. If you just play the guitar and you go and you turn up and you do the gig and it's great, it's still great. You know, there's still currency in that. Just because you didn't write the song doesn't make you any less of a music lover.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And songwriters that can't sing need people to sing their songs.
Yeah.
So
Totally,
who's going to
man.
sing them? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
If not Elvis.
It becomes something else when, like, I think the production's quite an important part of that process as well. Like, you can write a song, but once it's been produced for a particular kind of singer, kind of person, that it changes the whole. Do you know what I mean? The dynamic of the song.
Probably. I mean, that's a great singer. A great singer can take a song somewhere you never thought it would go. I remember watching the thing. The Bee Gees had written that song "Immortality." Do you know the one? And they got Celine Dion to sing it. Right.
Okay.
You should watch the footage. And Barry Gibb's in the control room. The three of them are. But Barry Gibb's standing there and she's singing it in the booth and he's crying. Now, just because she didn't write it doesn't mean she can't connect to the thing. She's obviously connected to it. She's made one of the greatest songwriters that ever lived cry, singing one of his own songs. So there's currency in that, you know what I mean? You don't have to have written a thing to be connected to it. Like when you hear a song that you love it for a reason. You know, I'm trying to think. I can't think of an example off the top of my head. But if I hear a song and I really connect with it, you'll probably be the same. I play it over and over and over again. I probably sicken myself to death with it, but I connect with it in some way. And then I go, right, I'm going to sing that. And that's what you'll do. You sing it at your next gig, you'll do it at your next thing. And that's how the world goes round. Because it's about connection. It's not necessarily about who did what. You know, these guys that go in and record their album, I played the drums and I played the flute and I played... So what? I mean, music's about sitting in a room with other people and making it happen. For me it is anyway.
Yeah.
You know, and great, Prince played everything on his album. It's a great album, but...
Does it matter?
Does it matter?
Yeah.
Does it really matter that you done everything on that record?
Maybe something that was like for personal for him, like an achievement or something.
Maybe it was a personal quest, and that's fine. But it, you know, but for me, music is about going like that. What do you reckon of this? Oh, I mean, I could do that, and then that's what being in a band was about. It was about booking a rehearsal room with your mates, and
there's something that doesn't really happen anymore. Or it's not that it doesn't happen anymore. You get it from time to time, but like I remember playing like a chord progression, and then like the second guitarist that I'm talking about when I was like 12 or 13, the second guitarist in the band would play like a riff over the top of it, and like just hearing the two blend together for the first time was like the most fucking
magic.
Yeah,
magic. It's addictive.
Yeah, nuts in it.
Mad, you know, audio drugs. Cause and then your mate would go, "What about this?" And you go, "Fuck, we're making a song here. Fucking hell, we're in a band." You know, and suddenly you were in a band. That first time that happened, you were in a band, and it's never changed. It's all you've ever wanted to do. As you get older, it gets more difficult to do it, and the technology makes it a bit less personal now, because you can send a file to somebody and it comes back and it's still great. But being in the room, I remember it myself, like at 12 and 13, being in the room, playing music with your pals. Nobody could touch you. That was it. You were there.
Yeah.
You were invincible for however long you were in that room.
I used to get slagged off by like certain groups, and it was like you'll have like a group of friends and then some will branch off. They used to slag me because I wouldn't come out and get drunk. Like they would go down to like a patch in the village and stuff, and they would all get drunk and fucking take drugs, and I'd get slagged off for not joining them, but I was like in my room fucking just trying to...
drugs.
Yeah, exactly.
It's addictive, especially when you start. What when you started writing? I don't know about you, but as soon as I knew 4 chords, it was like, right, I'm writing songs.
Yeah.
Fuck this.
Oh, totally. Like I never get taught how to learn a song. I get taught like how to write. It was my brother-in-law showed me my first couple of chords, and the first thing that we'd done when I got round the first 4 chords was we wrote a song together. And he just played guitar over the top of it. But that was same, man.
Totally, man. It was like
it seemed like the point. Do you know what I mean? It seemed like that
it was the natural thing, But then some guys don't. They want to learn how to play the Seahorses riffs, and they want to learn how to be John Squire and that's their quest.
I think that's been maybe my biggest problem with the cover side. Like, it's opened up a whole other thing to me, because I never got into like the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and all that, but through doing the cover side, it has made me do my homework. Do you know what I mean? Because I did just start writing, and I felt like an idiot for not knowing like what certain songs were, or that kind of stuff.
But you get there. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what route you take. You know, you'll always get there, because if you're going to be into it, they're the guys. You know, that's the thing.
So how do you feel then, going from like as a child hearing Rod Stewart to being on a fucking a stadium tour, or an arena tour with him?
I suppose. I mean, it was. How do I describe it? It wasn't scary at all. I felt like I was meant to be there the whole time.
That's cool.
And I suppose Rod being Rod was what helped it be. I mean, it was pretty normal for the first minute I met him. It was really normal, because he was just a normal guy.
Yeah.
And
did he? And I sound stupid, but did he just feel like another musician? Do you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I didn't know what to expect. I don't think I'm giving the game away here, but Rod was amazing. I watched his first sound check. He knew every drum hit. He knew every guitar note that was meant to be what it was meant to be. He knew every dance step that the dancers should have been doing. He knew every backing vocal they should be singing. Yeah. I mean, he really was the creator of all the things that were on the stage, and that became really apparent as the tour went on, because he would work them hard during the sound checks. He won't sing in the sound check. He keeps his voice and all that. But to watch that up close was like, fuck, you know, because I'm kind of lazy. I'm like, oh, that'll do, or whatever. And when I seen him doing his thing, it was like, wow. And I think with the Toy Tin Soldier thing going into the next album, you know, I'll be doing a bit more of that. And I think, you know, with the Johnny thing, we'll definitely be looking at things a lot, because you can't ignore it. The guy's show is so amazing because of the work that he puts in. Exactly. But I mean, he's great. I mean, he's such a great guy. Really good to us. You know, he looked after us really well. So the Rod tour, I mean, that was just, it was almost like it was a dream. And the first night you went out and you looked at the room and you were like, jeez, oh man, this is mega. Crazy. But it became pretty normal pretty quickly. Yeah. It's not me being like blasé about it, because I do catch myself on stage sometimes, you know, and I'm like, Jesus, this is massive. Yeah. But
it's hard to take those moments just in general when you're performing, even if you're just singing in a bar. Like, I find it quite difficult to just try and stay present and like take it in. But it's even worse at those gigs, if you know what I mean.
I think if you allow it to be, I was really conscious the first night. I was like, make sure you take an image of this in your brain. Like, I remember doing that when I first played the Barras when I was like, I think I was 20, and I played Supported Cheer and Breaks in the Barras, and I remember saying to myself, just look out and take it in and remember it. And I can still remember it now, and that's I'm not giving away my age. Two years ago. That was a couple of years ago now, you know, the journey's just kept going on. But there are times when I look up and I go, fucking hell. Yeah. You know. But there are times when I look out and I go, this is.
Do you have more dates left?
We've just came back. No, we done the Rod thing for 5 weeks, and then we've just been out with which was nuts. Alfie Bow and Michael Ball for 5 arena shows, which was nuts. Because they're kind of show thing, and we're kind of like the Pogues, you know, trying to do this. Yeah. But it went really well. I mean, 2 lovely guys again. But it is a total thrill and an honour to be doing it.
Sorry, man, but did I see Alan McDonald's out
Alan McDonald, well? Yep. So our guitar player, the original Johnny guitar player, the guy who sort of MDs the whole thing, he plays in Simple Minds. Right. So Gordy Gowdy, and Simple Minds are on tour. Right. So when we knew Gordy wasn't going to be able to make these dates, I said to John, I know a guy, and we got Alan in, and he's been amazing. Yeah. So Alan's been sort of doing all the acoustic stuff, and I've
Cool.
took
And
over
Alan
the
plays in
lead stuff.
Toy Tin Soldier.
He plays in
is that
Toy
right?
Tin Soldier with me, aye. And he plays lead in that, and I
Yeah.
play the sort of chordy stuff.
Right.
So it's sort of role reversal. But I've really enjoyed playing the lead stuff and
Mhm.
taking a bit of ownership of that.
Yeah.
And Johnny was really encouraging about it. He was like, "You can do it, man," because I normally don't do that sort of stuff. I'm normally in the back just singing away and doing my thing. So I've really enjoyed that, and it's been great. I mean, I stopped drinking about 10 months ago now, which I think really helped my cause as well.
Yeah. Well done, man.
So my anxiety and my clarity and my playing and my nerves and all that are in a total level. My emotions, everything's on a totally different plane now.
What was the? You don't
Just
have to
enough
get into
was
that,
enough,
but
man.
it's just,
Enough was enough,
I don't drink either, but I've never really had this. There's people in my family, like circle of friends, that have got to strange places through alcohol and stuff. It's never been something that's played a big role for me, but I just don't do it because, well, like we were talking about, I've got maybe a bit of an addictive personality. Music's enough, I suppose.
It's tough. It's a cultural thing as well,
Mm-hmm.
And I, when I was younger, right up to I didn't drive till I was 30. I'm 36 now.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going to gigs and I was able to just, it's like letting the madman free.
Yeah.
People are buying you drink and all that. And it was easy. And then I learned to drive and it became a bit less, but just madness, just silly. I mean, I suppose the benefit of hindsight is a great thing. But I've got a few friends that were drinkers, big drinkers, and they stopped.
Mm-hmm.
And then great things started to happen for them. Probably the most relevant one is a guy called Raymond Mead, who's a pal of mine. Raymond was in the Ronells.
I don't know Raymond Mead.
His brother is Daniel Mead, the Meat Men. They done the sort of rockabilly thing.
Mm-hmm.
So Raymond stopped drinking, lost a load of weight, looks great, and he ended up joining Ocean Colour Scene on the bass. And it was like, and he credits a lot of this stuff, happening to him. He plays with Jerry Cinnamon now. He plays bass for Jerry Cinnamon, and
Did he had his own
he did,
music at one point?
Aye.
Because I know the guitarist that played for him, Stuart McLeod.
Stuart done some recording for
that's
Raymond.
right.
That's right. So I ended up playing guitar live with Raymond.
Mm-hmm.
On his, I can't remember the name of the album, but Justin Curry was up singing with us and all that, and he wasn't drinking. He seemed great, and I was drinking at the time, and I was like, I wasn't playing great. I really wasn't. I was playing like a fucking idiot, And but it took me a few years after that to suddenly realise that, enough was enough.
Yeah.
And it's funny, because things really have, immeasurably better since I stopped everything.
Yeah.
In my, in music. I've just done 2 arena tours, and I put that down to small part to having my shit together, what I mean? I've been offered loads of good guitar gigs through a friend of mine, and I'm sure that, being sober's got a lot to do with that. My moods are better.
Were you the kind of drinker that would go on like a bender or that kind of thing? Or
I would do that, but I would the kind of guy that was going, oh look, Lincoln are playing Morecambe in League 2 on the telly tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll go and get a fucking carry it.
Right.
And I would just do that, and just silly.
Do you think, how different do you think it would have been if you were still drinking doing the arena tour?
I either wouldn't be doing it at all, or I would have been sacked after the first run.
Right.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. It would have been just too much.
So dramatically better then.
Better for everybody, I'm still as sick, and I've still got a sick sense of humour, and I still like to have a,
Yeah.
But I'm not like overbearing anymore. It's really quite annoying. And it's funny because when I stopped drinking, we went to a wedding, me and my wife, and it was really hard. It was the first week or something, and it was the first time St Luke's had opened the outside bar, and it was a Scotsman Day, and everybody's drinking bottles of Corona, which I was like, come on. So I was like, and I was sitting, and I was all fucking, oh Jesus, this is hard. And what happened was about 5:30, everybody started to like plummet and get drunk and talk fucking rubbish. and I sort of used it as a mirror, and I was like, fucking hell, that would be me.
Yeah.
And then probably by 8 I would be sleeping, and I was still awake, and my wife was happy, she was having a nice time, and I sort of loosened up, and I was like,
That's great, man.
this is alright,
Yeah.
this is cool, you know. And it's kind of addictive to feel that good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's strange. Raymond funnily said a thing to me. He said, not having a hangover becomes addictive. Waking up with that hangover, even if you have 4 beers, you still have a fucking hangover.
Yeah.
You're still like, oh Jesus. It's not like waking up.
So all
with
the things that, for the people, like specifically someone in my family that is a recovering alcoholic and has had a couple of relapses, but the thing that I notice in them is that they gravitate more towards it when times are tough, but it works more as a depressant than anything else and magnifies those problems tenfold. So although there might be that period of drunk that takes the pain away for a little while, the next day you wake up and the problems.
And then that's the vicious circle.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, I need something to sort me out here. And but it's a cultural thing, because people, we somehow celebrate the fact that somebody can drink fucking 10 pints and a bottle of vodka, and we somehow make that out to be something that it's not. It's mental. Yeah. You know, it really is nuts. And a thing that helped me, I don't know if this will help anybody else, but I mean, I'm not a big reader, but I got into Audible. It's an app, it's a book app thing, and I listened to Russell Brand's 2 books. Really fucking helped me out, man. It was as if he was talking to me a lot of the time. Yeah. You know, it really was.
I found his stuff quite helpful and like varied, because it kind of does it like that, where you can make it apply to you for sort of anything really, something that you know you should be giving up, but
and he kind of makes it. He doesn't make it out as if like if you're living under a bridge and you know you don't have anything, then you've got a problem. It's kind of like if you're doing these wee things, what I was doing, you know, like get the kids to bed, come on, up to bed, so that I could get stuck into 6, 8 beers, you know. That was the thing that got me. I was like, oh jeez, I do that. Yeah. And then he was saying, oh, I'm going, I do that. And this is what leads on to the bigger things, you know. It's just like, well, and it felt like he was talking to me for you know, the whole book. I was like, wow.
It's really hard to change those patterns in yourself as well, because they become so much a part of who you are. Yeah.
I'm pretty positive that if somebody who knew me, because I've toured as a roadie for years as well, from I was 19 till I was 25, I'd done a lot of roadie work, guitar tech and all that, and I'm pretty sure that if somebody who I'd worked with back then met me now, they would be like, two totally different people, you know, which is good. Yeah, no, because I was a bit off the wall, you know, not like I'm mad at a night out, Sandra, you know, like, you know, they people, you know, tell her I'm mental, innit? You know, not like that, but like just do stupid fucking things.
I think when it stops being fun, like I lost a friend like to alcohol, and the thing that that he was always focused on was that there was a period between the age of like 15 and maybe 18, not even past that, where we would drink together and we'd go and do stupid stuff that would always lead to some hilarious night out, and I just naturally drifted away from that, and music just became more important. And he always seemed like he was trying to relive those times. Do you know what I mean?
And they're just stories now, you know what I mean? It's not even, I mean, how often do you sit back and go to yourself, oh, I remember I done that. I'm cringing at half the stuff, you know, Jesus. Yeah. Sometimes you get together with your mate and you talk about old times and all that. But I mean, some people are chasing something that actually isn't there. Yeah. They're chasing especially people in music, they're sort of chasing this dream of Keith Richards and, you know, Jimmy Page and all that. I seen a video with Jimmy Page, and this, funny enough, it was only the other day, and he was playing Stairway to Heaven. I don't know where it was. You'll be able to look it up. And Eric Clapton ends up coming on, and I think Pete Townsend end up coming on, and he's playing Stairway to Heaven. He's clearly loose. He's fucking rubbish. I mean, it's crap. He's palm muting things. He's missing notes. It's crap. you know, and they think that they want to live up to this whole thing where, you know,
Even that doesn't, like, I feel like that element of being like a rock star just doesn't even exist anymore.
nah, not anymore. Died with Oasis, really.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Liam Gallagher's still going and all that.
Mhm.
Fair play, but you know, all that 90s, it all died then in the
Yeah.
90s, all that stuff, really. I mean, it's cool to be a vegan now, you know what I mean? Are you a vegan?
I kind of thought I'm not vegan, man, but I'm vegetarian, but like I don't care that much.
But
do you know
I don't mean cool as in like Fonzie. I mean it's
Yeah.
cool. It's all
Oh,
right.
no,
it's,
totally,
it's not like fucking hell, man. That guy's a
what I mean?
vegetarian.
By the way, even if you thought that, it wouldn't insult me.
No, but do you know what I mean,
When
though?
when I eat meat, I felt like as justified as I do just now, so I don't even have a problem with people eating
No, but
meat.
what I mean is people don't look at it as if you're from the fucking moon anymore.
Yeah.
They look at you like, well, that guy's a
It's
vegetarian.
became
You know,
it's part
it's
of culture and
become
stuff as
life.
well.
You know,
Yeah.
some people. I was scared. Like, people have been really cool with me. You know,
Mhm.
people I've known all my life. I don't really drink now.
Yeah.
Alright, cool, man. And I still have the like. If I'm in company and like on the tours and that, I'll have the blue stuff, the Heineken Zero and all that.
Yeah.
Just to keep it like why do I do that? I suppose it's just so people don't come up to me that I don't know and go, have that tune the fat thing,
Yeah.
have a drink,
Aye.
have a drink. You know,
That's a weird thing in itself. Like, there's like friends have got to stop smoking and stuff. Like, they'll say people are less likely to bother you if you say that you don't smoke than if you say you've stopped smoking. Do you know what I
maybe.
mean? They'll try
maybe.
and coax you into having a cigarette.
Aye.
It's a weird thing to do, to want somebody to fucking relapse.
Do it, do it, do it,
Yeah.
do it. What? Jesus. But I mean, but it is a hard thing when bringing it back into music because it kind of is synonymous.
Mhm.
You know, you do a gig, you have a drink, you go out, you get up the next day, everything's a bit fuzzy, you go and do your gig. You know, it's
Yeah.
that thing. But it's slowly coming out of the game now because dressing rooms are full of watermelons and you know figs and all that now. It's not like it used to be. Even when I was touring as a roadie, I mean, it was totally different. Even I'm 10 years out of that.
Mhm.
So you're talking 15 years ago when I first started. It's completely different. I
Aye.
mean, it's totally different. You can tour as
What
a
was on
clean.
your rider? Did you have a rider?
Oh, it was nuts. I mean, you can drink as much as you want on tour, but you know, back then you couldn't tour. It would never work being a vegetarian on tour. It just wouldn't work. It just wasn't facilitated for. Even in catering and stuff like that, it was like, what? No, you'll have what you'll get. You know. Now it's like you can go on tour. You can be dry. You can be clean. You can be a vegetarian. You can be a vegan. You know, you can do all this stuff because it's all catered for.
Yeah.
People are aware now that it happens, and it makes for a healthier, happier, peaceful tour life. You know, you can get up in the morning, you can have something to eat because it's available. You know, it's changing. It's
Yeah.
definitely changing, and it's for the better. You know, definitely.
Nuts.
It's great.
So you said you're doing a second album.
Well, it's actually a third. It's a third. I've done
Right.
an early Toy Tin Soldier thing. Put one out. I think that's 3 years ago,
Mhm.
and yeah, I've got a third in the bag.
I think that's the last time I seen you was just before you were about to put the record out. Like, I think the last time we had some sort of like conversation,
Uh-huh.
it was in that bar in Blantyre that you.
Oh, the
you do.
Hullets.
Hullets. aye.
Yeah. We put that record out. Done well.
Yeah.
Done really well. Number 7 in the iTunes charts and stuff. So it done well. You know, I done
Crazy,
a tour with Churn Breaks on the back of it,
Mhm.
which was good. And then live, and then my wife had another kid, so that
Mhm.
sort of took over. Just before that happened, I recorded this whole album, and now we've crowdfunded it to get it out,
Right.
get it promoted. So that's
This album.
this album.
Right.
Yep.
So it's
It's finished.
done.
It's
Yeah.
done.
Wow.
So that'll come out in the summer.
Mhm.
It's got to keep it in between the Johnny Mac stuff.
Yeah.
You know, as much as I'd love to dedicate all my time to Toy Tin Soldier, the fact is, you know, I'm getting to play guitar and enjoy it, and I enjoy
Me too.
the Johnny Mac thing, you know. But I
Yeah.
mean, I'll still be doing Toy Tin Soldier. That's my stuff, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? It'll keep me. But I think we'll put this record out. We'll see how it goes, and then I'll probably do like a wee acoustic album or something.
Yeah.
Because that's something that I've not really done. You know, it sort of went. I mean, the first record was sort of more laid back. Second record was a bit more about it, and this one's fairly full on in places.
That's strange, man, because like my introduction to you was as an acoustic singer.
That's kind of what I grew up doing, you know.
Yeah.
Just through lack of, I mean, people getting 5 guys in a room together to play your music is a bit more difficult than if you're in a band.
Yeah.
You know,
Totally, man.
the sort of classic band scenario.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, although people come and play and stuff, I think with the next one, rather than try to sort all that out, I'm just going to go, here it is.
Yeah.
You know, and record it and do it. But the next record, I mean, it's great. It's a great record. I recorded it a while back, but it's really happening in places.
Where did you record it?
I recorded it in, you know, the rehearsal rooms in Kilmarnock, you know, the place over there.
I think so, man.
Place over in the East End. My cousin Paul Mosley done it.
Right.
He sort of recorded it and produced it.
Uh-huh.
So we'd done some stuff with him after because I was done the Mr. Kill thing years ago.
Right.
And we'd recorded some stuff with him after we'd finished that.
Yeah.
And I'd done another thing called Strange Empire. So I just thought, well, you know, go and do it with him. He's my cousin. I'll have a laugh.
Knows how you work and stuff.
Well, that's it. And he's fast and he's quick. He's great on the old Pro Tools, because I'm a great believer in one job for him and one job for me. So he took care of all the cutting and pasting and, you know, right go and all that, and I just took care of the sort of
You're
playing.
starting to make me realise my fucking problem.
You're probably trying to do too much.
Play all the fucking instruments,
Yeah,
record it.
Just delegate.
Yeah.
Just ask, you know, help, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I find if you can concentrate on the song, then everything else will sort of take care of itself. You know, as long as you find somebody you trust. I trust Paul, so he's my cousin first and foremost, but he's my friend as well. You know, and we can talk to each other on a level where, I mean, he'll come to say to me, nah, that's not working, and you know, we'll work it out, and I'll say to him, I need it to be like this, and you know, he's there, and I'm at the other side.
Yeah.
You know, and you'll know yourself when you're singing or when you're playing. There's nobody harder on what you're doing than yourself.
Yeah.
You know yourself if it's right. You know, and again, it's about the feeling. If it feels right, you're like, it elevates you somewhere that. I mean, I don't even think there's nothing that gives you that feeling of when you hear a track and you go,
yeah,
that's great. You know, nothing.
Sometimes like the tracks that you thought weren't going to be the greatest or whatever, that turned out to be
the best.
Yeah, like just getting to hear them for the first time.
I don't know if you do it, but I listen to something with death when I'm working on it, and I put it away and I don't listen to it, and then one day I'll maybe bring it in and I'll go,
Yeah.
It's actually pretty good.
I'm fucking good.
I'm alright at this. Oh, what was I worried about? You know, give me that guitar, let's go. Kicking the bar's doors open. Just get them in here, I'll play. Yeah. And I've got this theory as well. I say yes to most things.
Mm-hmm.
Most things, unless it's like where you come and play, you know, I'll give you 50 it's for exposure, you know. You know, but most things, if somebody comes to me with something and I think, I'll do that, I'll do it, because you never know where it leads.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You never know the next thing. People, too many people are, no, I'm a yes guy when it comes, especially, well, only music things. It's like, you come and do this, I'll come and do it.
Because like it's so, especially because Scotland's got such a small music industry compared to everywhere else. It's like that. There's a good chance that the guy you're gigging with and busking with and fucking the fort is pals with Rod Stewart.
Well, I mean, but that's the nuts thing. You just never know. You never know unless somebody's going to be telling you every 10 minutes. Do you know what I mean? But I don't even think. You're saying that. I think all the guys, when I think about it now, everybody's doing the same thing. They just want to get on. They want to just play music. Nope. I don't remember the last time I heard anybody saying they were trying to make it.
Yeah.
That's all gone now. Social media, that's all. So, I mean, I was sort of missed the book. I thought I would get there by playing. And when just at the point when I was old enough to get out and tour and do it was like MySpace.
Yeah.
It was like, what is this? And I still have never owned a computer.
Really?
So, no. So I was like, what's this? And that sort of took over. It became how many friends you had on MySpace rather than your actual content and what you were doing, and so it became a game changer. So all that I'm going to make it stuff. It's kind of guys are just want to play now. If it's within you, it's like it is with us. I mean, I won't stop playing because it's who I am and it's what I do.
Yeah.
The guys that are faking it will get found out pretty quickly because they'll be disappointed fairly early on.
Either that or they'll lock themselves into a side of the industry that supports that, and they'll just be lost in this fucking weird, like, don't we fucking pure shoot it, well, I'm going to shoot it like Love Island and stuff like that. The people that end up gravitating more towards that type side of the entertainment industry, I feel like get locked in that bubble, and probably is what keeps them there. Do you know what I mean?
Well, you look at the guy Ryland. Is it Ryland?
Yeah.
He was on a singing show.
Yeah.
And I've never seen him sing in the telly, yet he's never off my fucking telly.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was on a singing show. He's never sang a note on the telly. Even when he was singing, he's never sang it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, what are you in it for?
I guess that, man.
Well, that's what he's there. He was there. He's seen a, which is an absolute art in itself. He's seen an opportunity, and he went for it. And he is where he is.
I say that cool, as a musician who's now presenting a podcast.
But it's different because you're presenting a podcast in music, and you'll still go and you'll do your gigs at the pub where there's 15 people. I'd done a gig in a pub last night. I think there was 8 people in all night. 8 people. Yeah. And I still done it because that's what it is that I do. And a week ago I was playing in front of 20,000. It doesn't make any difference. It doesn't make any difference where it is. You're still doing it.
I remember Marcus saying, like, because I would say something quite similar to Marcus about the gigs. That he said that you would always message him, just say, just give me the one where I'm just in the corner. Don't have to fucking I'm kind of like that as well, man. Like, when I started doing those sort of acoustic gigs, man, I was approaching it like it was a gig. Do you know what I mean? Thinking that I had to really fucking be involved in it, but
a lot of the time you go to these things, and it could literally be Elvis Back for the Dead. I mean, it could literally be him in his suit, and it wouldn't matter a jot. They still want to hear The Gambler at 10 to 11. You could literally be burning the place up, the best gig of your life, and they wouldn't notice. So it was a leveler for me. I began to realise, if I'm having a bad night, they probably don't know. If I'm having a good night, they probably don't know. So everything was on a level then. It was like, well, it doesn't really matter. But but we go back to the original point. It's about learning how to work a room, how to get on stage, how to manage nerves, how to manage people.
How to stand back a bit, I think, as well. Like what I was saying there is like feeling like overselling it. If you know what I mean, like sometimes just being the guy that's singing in the room is enough for people to like come up and go, it was fucking good. Yeah, man.
Yeah, some people you can over egg it definitely, but then you learn that. You know what I mean. It's not, and you learn that through doing it. You don't learn it through assessing your first ever gig. Yeah. You only ever learn that by doing it and over egging it more than once. You know what I mean? Then you realise I don't really need to be doing that. You know what I mean? I used to chase gigs like a lunatic, and I kind of don't do it now, and I'm getting more gigs than ever because you're picking the right ones. You're picking the right gigs, you're doing the right gigs because they're the ones that lead on to the.
I used to do that as well, and with like, I don't want to mention certain promotions companies, obviously, but like I do that with certain promoters, so that I could try and get a gig that I wanted and stuff, and that you end up just locking yourself in this weird place.
It's like a revolving door that you can't get out of. Just there, spinning the whole time, just picking up the next thing. You just need to take your time and go.
The place that you're at just now sort of like skips that, and
I was doing it though.
Yeah,
I was doing it.
But no, I don't mean that you haven't went through it. I just mean that like, when you because there's been a couple of gigs that I've had, like my own solo thing. We opened for Wet Wet Wet, and how that happened was just a total natural. I didn't ask for the gig or anything. It just sort of like fell in my lap, and when you're there, you realise like this is why and how people get these gigs, because you just need to be a fucking real person about it, and
Totally.
not try and fucking want to be a rock star.
And that's it. And things come to you, you know. Things just gravitate towards you, and it's, what do they call it? The laws of attraction. You know, you just sit and bide your time, and these things will happen. Just do the next gig, do the next gig, do the next gig.
Yeah.
'Cause you never know who's there. You just don't know. But I think the non-drinking helps me appreciate that a bit more.
Yeah.
Because I'm not forgetting myself.
Is it been a like, are you going through a program, or is it just?
No, I did to start with.
Yeah.
I did to start with.
I suppose you're saying that you used the Russell Brand books
I
helped
did.
you, which is sort of like the 12-step.
I went to
thing.
meetings as well.
Right.
Which was, it was mad. I kind of stopped. I didn't stop through choice. I stopped because the nights I could make meetings to take my kids places and stuff like that. But they helped. They helped enormously.
Yeah.
And they say keep going and all that. But if you don't have the time, you don't have the time, you know. But I'm lucky. Everybody is round about me is cool. They're helping me out, you know.
You notice that obviously everyone in general is just different, but I helped a family member go to AA, and I don't know if it was AA you went to, but I noticed that certain people in there like they've been going for like maybe 30 years and they've been there every day, they're always at a meeting every day, but there's guys that do just kind of go along because they're going through a particularly hard time or whatever, and everybody's different.
Well, that's it.
Aye.
Everybody's different. You cope with things differently. You know, the going's good for me now. You know what I mean? So like, I don't ever think about when I'm going to go for a drink. I used to all the time. Used to be the first thing I thought of when I woke up in the morning. Right, what's on the night? Oh, okay. Doesn't even enter my brain now.
Yeah, that's good, man.
But I've not been through anything really tough.
Yeah.
The going's been good. You know what I mean? So we'll find out what I'm made of then. But you can only take that as it comes.
Yeah.
Like with everything.
But maybe also that the things that would maybe usually lead you into those places, you'll have developed like proper coping mechanisms by not drinking.
I hope so.
Do you know what I mean? That when these things come along, that it won't affect you maybe the way it would have.
I think my kids will help me. 3 kids. They'll help. And as long as I'm busy playing, that'll help. You know, if you're not busy, if you're just fucking lying around, then it's more difficult. But kids, and as we said earlier, they bring a whole different dynamic to the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of where you need to be, what you need to be doing. You know, you don't have any time for self-pity, and you don't have time for anything. You know what I mean? Madness, innit?
Yeah.
It's great though. It's the best job in the world. You know, but they demand a whole other thing from you that you never even probably knew you had in you. You know what I mean? I never knew I had half the stuff in me.
You just sort of rise to the occasion.
Totally.
Like, you figure out you're a dad while you're being a dad.
That's it. You're like, but you do. You know, you get things so right sometimes. You get things really wrong. But again, it's like the level. You try not to be too hard on yourself, and you try not to praise yourself too much. You just keep it.
Yeah.
You know, everything just in nice balance. It's like football managers. It's like when I hear them say, you know, when we win, I don't get too up, and when we lose, I don't get too down. It's kind of like that, and it's like, you know, you find your way through both doing things right and doing things wrong. You know, but they're a great leveler, definitely. And it was so, you know, when you think about if there's hard times come along, and you know maybe you're not playing as much as you want to be, then they take over.
Yeah.
They definitely take over. Not that they don't already take over, but you know they'll.
It's made me like a step-parent and a parent, and the whole thing's made me like with music. I spoke about that a couple of episodes ago, but like I was talking about how like the whole creative process has become part of my family. It's made me like value music in a different way. That like even if I'm just sitting singing fucking The Wheels in the Bus with them, like it's, do you know what I mean? It puts a different value of it.
Totally. And the way I look at it is I love music. I love playing music. I love creating music. I love all things music. And if my kids are able to grow up and watch me do that, then the sky's the limit for them. Because if I can do it,
Yeah.
you know, they'll be able to say, well, my dad done that.
Yeah.
You know, they see you doing something. So many people, you know, they work to they work to fund this lifestyle, and you know they're in jobs that they hate. I love my job. You know what I mean? I love it. You know, I might be playing weddings and doing bar gigs, and I'm doing tours, and I'm playing music. That's as much as they know.
Yeah.
And if they grow up knowing that, then they can do whatever they want. You know what I mean? They see it on a daily basis. Yeah. They're able to say, I can do that. I don't need to conform, or I mean, I'm not saying that going and being a whatever you want to be is conforming, but they can do what they love, whether that be a musician, whether that be my son wants to run a flower shop, you know, my daughter wants to be a ballerina. They can do that because
just about investing.
There's no rules, you know what I mean?
Something emotionally into that becomes another part of you. Like that's what I see songs like. It's like you've invested the time into that particular thing, and now it exists.
Yep.
It's like tangible, and
yep.
So it's teaching them that. Yeah. Like
well, and it's something that they'll have the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
You know, without being morbid, when you're no longer here and they're adults, they're going to be able to go, listen to that. You know what I mean? And it's always going to, but whether it's shite or it doesn't, it's there. You know what I mean?
That'd be really funny if they thought my music was shite.
I was saying it was shite. It's there. You know what I mean? It's there forever. It's there forever, and it's there for them. I mean, that's what I do it for. I do it for them, because now there's so many things they can look back on and go, I mean, he done all right. You know what I mean? And you'll be the same. Your kids will look back at all your fluorescent heart stuff and go, fucking hell, man. Yeah. That's cool. That's good. Yeah. I mean, it's a legacy as well as now.
Yeah.
You need to think about what you're leaving for them as well. You know what I mean?
I suppose that makes me feel a bit more positive about because after when those bands end and stuff, when you don't get the breaks that you think you're going to get, it's cause before you've got kids you're thinking, I need to achieve something in this world, and that's what kids are. They make you realise that's what you were, for me anyway. I always felt like I would love to put out not best of album, but I would love to put out an album that people consider as a all-time great. Do you know what I mean? But I thought when you were saying that there, that makes me realise that your kids can be those people that you wanted to discover that shit.
Exactly. And you know, how many people in the grand scheme of the world actually get to put out a record? Never. It's a bit different now, but you know, you have it within you to make a record, put it out, and let the world hear it. And if you don't do that, you're robbing people, even one person that would want to hear that. And that's because there's a million people would give their right bollock to be able to do what it is that we can do with relative ease, because it is within us to do it. And whether it's Bohemian Rhapsody or whether it's a fucking 3-chord wonder, it doesn't matter. If you get something to say, put it out, say it. Because there's people all over the world, as I say, would kill to be able to even have half of what it is that we can do. And I'm not saying we're brilliant, I'm just saying we can do it.
That is the cool thing about being able to do it online, is you're capturing a cult following, rather than just going out and fucking trying to be make it on a TV show or whatever, where you can be vanilla to everybody that is going to tune in. You can actually reach the people that you want to hear your music,
or reach people you didn't even know wanted to hear your music. You know, but it's got to be for you. It's got to be for you, and then it bleeds out into them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know, you should be doing it. You should be releasing stuff, even just putting it out for nothing.
Yeah.
Because it's a gift. It's a gift that we have, that we should be able to give to people.
I'm gonna go home and record a fucking album now.
You should record it and call it
Toy Tin Soldier.
Toy Tin Soldier's Greatest Hits. That's how I think it. I mean, what I've got to say, maybe not everybody wants to hear, but the fact that I can do it means that I should be doing it.
You're doing fucking great, man.
Well, thank you very much.
I'm proud of you, if that,
thank you.
that means anything to you, man.
You make me blush here.
But thanks very much for coming on,
Not
man.
at all. I hope
guess
I've
we
not
should wrap this up.
Gibbered a whole load of nonsense.
Not at all, man. Not at all. It's been really fucking
Pleasure.
cool. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, mate.
Cheers, man.
Cheers, man.